Hey there, Sovereigns. Monica Grace from cardreadingqueen.com here. Today's content is what a dark night of the soul feels like and what it means for your twin soul union. I recently experienced a dark night of the soul, and this was about a week ago on, I'm recording this on July 8th. It was Tuesday, June 30th, so 8 days ago. And I hadn't been through a dark night of the soul in a long time, a true one. I had kind of assumed I was done with those on the journey. So what had happened is that leading up to this, I had just a ton of exhaustion. I was not sleeping very well. I was not eating healthy. And I'm still not eating. I still need to improve my eating habits at the moment and really focus on nourishment. But basically I was exhausted, and let me tell you guys, it takes a lot to exhaust me. It was a combination of getting like 3 to 4 hours of sleep for just months and months, having a young child in the house. I have 3 businesses that I'm working on right now. Two that I'm more active in. I hosted, so there's a global pandemic going on with COVID, and I hosted a 4-day event around Father's Day at my house for the most part. So I did like cooking and cleaning and everything for it, and that just like really pushed me over, just to a point of exhaustion where I literally had to like force myself to go to sleep. I'm just gonna say this because I take COVID very, very seriously, so I don't want to give the wrong impression. The events that I had were just with close family members who we are already kind of exposed to on a regular basis because they babysit my child. So we weren't getting any additional exposure with these events, and we're not able to quarantine just the 3 of us anymore. We've had to open it up to two other households and it's basically just, my child's grandparents. So I just want to say that because I know people are like, wow, you hosted a party during a global pandemic. No, it wasn't that kind of party. It was a family gathering, and it was people that were already exposed to them. So it was not an additional risk really, because we see them, several times a week already. So the dark night of the soul, what it is on the twin soul journey, it's when you are circling around your deepest fear is the best way to put it, or your deepest wounding is another way to put it. And so as you kind of circle around this, you're going to have these dark nights. And back in 2018, I spent a lot of time in the dark night of the soul mode, and it would be like days and weeks where I felt depressed and miserable, and I was processing a lot of stuff around my deepest wounds and fears. In this case, it was only a day, but the thing that I was processing was that I felt worthless. My worthiness, and it's like logic. So like, and this will be different for you. Maybe feeling worthless is not your thing. It's not your deepest fear. For me, that's what it is. And it was even, I had this belief that I couldn't offer my child anything. That was the hardest part of this dark night, was just these very disturbing thoughts that were going through my mind about how I really had nothing to offer my child. I couldn't, like, that I would never be able to provide for him, and that I would never be able to give him love, and I would never be able to give him attention. And it was just like, it's just like this terrible spiral of thoughts. And then I even went to like thoughts of like, what would it be like if I wasn't here anymore? What would it, and it was just, which was stemming from a belief that I was worthless. So like, why would I need to be here on the planet, basically? And I want to be clear, I'm not suicidal. I was just having these thoughts. And it was a dark night of the soul. I wasn't gonna take any action on them. It was what was going through my head, and I was allowing myself to feel it, instead of pushing it away as many people do, but just allowing myself to feel those feelings and explore them, because that's what was coming up. I also felt like my journey was hopeless. My twin soul journey was hopeless, and that I would never get my dream life, and that I was delusional. Like, this wasn't a real journey. The concept of twin souls is not real. And believing those things, by the way, it's totally fine if that's where you're at, and that's where I was at on Tuesday. But believing those things, you're really saying that you don't believe in your higher power, any of this stuff. So like feeling hopeless, it's like you don't believe that things can get better. Believing you'll never get your dream life, you believe your dreams are outside of you, or you believe that God or your higher power, so it could be the universe, it could be spirit, source, your creator, you believe that they are working, you believe that they're working against you, or that they've abandoned you, because of course they want you to, like, God wants me to have my dream life, of course. I worried that I was not with my twin soul. Like I was just worried that like my husband isn't my twin soul. I was worried that I would have to start over in life again, and that it would be so hard, because I've built a foundation with my family here. And it was just all of this stuff. And all of it was tied to feelings of worthlessness. So I experienced this for a day. The next day, I felt fine again. Like I slept, I felt fine again. My energy was coming back. And the dark night of the soul, it's really like a storm passing over you. It's like feelings coming to visit you and bringing stuff up to show you something. And a lot of people, first of all, if you feel depression, I didn't say this at the beginning. If you feel depression, definitely seek professional help over that. I'm not saying like you're depressed and it's just a spiritual thing, like a dark night of the soul. That's not what I'm saying. But so definitely also seek professional help if you're experiencing a dark night of the soul that is very intense. If you're experiencing thoughts of suicide, definitely seek professional help. For me, it was just a storm passing for a day, and it was a lot of feelings coming up for me, and I trusted myself. I knew I wasn't going to do anything with those feelings, so I allowed myself to feel them, and tried to understand what they were visiting for. Because again, I haven't experienced this in a while. So what had happened for me was the storm passed over. The next day I was feeling good again. I was feeling motivated. For weeks I had been feeling exhausted. And the reason that my energy was coming back was because I had felt these feelings that I needed to feel and that were there to show me something. And I had been ignoring them for so long that they had no choice but to come to me through a dark night of the soul. Like, they had to come as a storm. So it could have been sprinkles before, like little raindrops. And it could have been like a light rain or overcast clouds leading up to that. But it was like, for me to acknowledge those feelings, I had to experience a storm. So after the dark night of the soul, not only did my energy return to me when I had been trying for weeks to overcome exhaustion, but it also was like massive breakthrough. So when you're on the twin soul journey and you experience the dark night of the soul, stick with it and feel, be willing to feel your feelings, unless you need professional help, in which case go get it. But if you trust yourself if you trust yourself to feel your feelings without becoming your feelings or without drowning in your feelings, then feel your feelings, and that will bring you into a huge breakthrough on your journey. So for me, I had a number of huge breakthroughs, and so some of them was like the first one was that during this dark night of the soul, I fully expressed myself to everybody in the lead up to it. So, I told my husband exactly how I felt about situations that we had been arguing over. I went to everybody that I needed to say something to, and I said it. And it felt so good to just get it all off my chest and just be very raw and very real with people. And so I realized how important for me, for my healing, how important full expression of myself is. And I had not been fully expressing myself. I had been holding back to protect people's feelings, to make people feel comfortable. And I just hit a breaking point where I didn't care anymore. So I just said what I needed to say. And then that really helped pull me through. And, the lesson there was to express myself fully at every opportunity. Not in a way that hurts people's feelings, but just to express myself fully. I also realized that my dreams are within me. They're not something outside of me, and nobody can take away my dreams. It's only me who can decide not to pursue those dreams and really not to align with those dreams. I also realized that no matter what happens for me on my journey, I can always choose peace. So I had been spinning for a while over what if I'm not with my twin soul? I don't want my relationship to fall apart. I don't want to get divorced. I don't want to move, blah, blah, blah. And I had kind of gone on and on with that. And what I realized was there's nothing that can disturb my peace. So even if that situation did unfold, which I don't want it to, but if it did, then I can choose to heal any feelings that come up and move through those feelings. So I can always choose to get back to a place of peace, no matter what happens. And so these were the biggest breakthroughs, and it felt like such a huge shift for me. It was like a window, and you go through it and everything changes on the other side. So I literally felt all the heavy energy that I had been feeling with this dark night and leading up to it for weeks and probably months and maybe even years. I had really felt that heavy energy leaving me, and I felt significantly lighter. At the end, I felt like I had gained a much deeper and greater sense of peace in my life, and that peace was permanent within me because I was just trusting myself more and aligning to who I am more. And so it was really beautiful. I also, for me, so that's what I think you can experience with the dark night of the soul. Again, when I first was experiencing this, specific to this journey, because I probably experienced it before, but specific to this journey and being conscious of it, when I had first experienced it, it was probably back in 2017, 2018, and it could last for weeks at that point. And it wasn't as strong. So this one was a very strong one. And I feel like I was purging some of the coarse wounds that I had and some of the coarse wounds that you can have on this journey. And most of those are around having faith in your higher power, believing in twin souls. It's those things, believing in your ability to create everything you desire, or even just believing in your ability to have everything you desire, like feeling worthy of the things you desire. So those are some of the core wounds that everybody is healing, and that was what that felt like. Now in the past, a lot of the time it was healing that same wounding, but on a different level. So and on like a milder level, because the way your higher power is going to help you heal is it's really more of a spiral of healing, in the sense that you'll kind of circle like this outer layer of the healing, and you'll just keep going inward, like kind of like an onion, until you get the full thing. So, you know, your higher power doesn't really want to give it all to you at once. I think of it like a video game, like video game bosses, where you are not going to go after like the biggest, baddest boss on level 1. You have to go after smaller bosses and have those smaller wins and work your way up in skill level. So I think that was similar. So I never like to say that I'm at the end of a wounding, because I don't believe in that. But I do want to say, and the reason I don't believe that is because there's always a next level, is my experience with this so far. But I will say that I feel very peaceful and like very close to harmony with life, harmony with my higher power, God, and also harmony with my twin soul. Like I feel, and really it's harmony with myself. So I'm feeling very peaceful, very joyful, and very loving around these things. And all of that came because of this dark night of the soul, and the work that had been leading up to it, which I've been talking about on my channel and on my podcast. So you guys know what that is, and you've if you listen to each episode in order, then you can see the progression of that story. So I just wanted to share that in case you are experiencing the dark night of the soul. And the biggest thing I want to share is that as you get through that, the reason you're experiencing it is because those feelings are visiting you in order to show you something, to reveal something to you. And so if you are in a good place otherwise and healthy, and you're able to feel those feelings and observe them, allow them to visit you, let them tell you and show you what needs to be healed. And then if you're willing to heal those things, on the other side of it is massive breakthrough. And it always means that you're getting closer and closer to your union. So it's a really good thing when the dark night of the soul comes, because it means that your healing work has like been building and building and building, and you're about to have just massive breakthroughs all at once. And on the other side of that dark night of the soul is incredible peace on a level you've never experienced, because you are just going deeper and deeper into peace. So I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and have a beautiful and blessed day.
Wishing you could get solid information on how to navigate your twin soul journey? Make sure you check out my book related to this episode called Your Twin Soul Journey, A Guide to Experience Eternal, Unconditional, Harmonious, Embodied Love and Union with Your Divine Partner. In the book, you'll learn the cornerstone concepts you must understand to embark on this journey, the truth about the twin soul stages, and my own personal roadmap to finding your unique way through this journey, how to heal quickly through any separation blocks you are facing on your twin soul journey, and answers to all your most pressing questions about twin soul purpose, twin soul telepathy, and twin soul myths. You can find the book, Your Twin Soul Journey, at all the major retailers, or find links in the description to learn more. And don't forget to check out the rest of the books in the Twin Soul Hearts and Union series.